Hello, hi, welcome. The show's name is Politics. Although I call it Politrix, and my name is Presh. The title of this episode is Biden Drops Out. But before we get into that, let's do some cleanup for last week. So, last week I was speaking about J.D. Vance, Trump's new running mate, and I spoke about him as a person, his biography, and his personality. But something I forgot to mention is his strengths and how he would help Trump win the presidency. And I didn't do it on purpose. The idea simply did not cross my mind. And the reason for that is he has no strengths and he won't help Trump win the presidency. In America, there are solidly blue states, meaning that they will always vote for the Democrats. Actually, let me take it a step back. In a parliamentary system, you cast your vote and the seats in parliament are proportionally, doled out to whoever got that amount of votes. In America, there's a winner-takes-all system. So if 51% of the state votes for one party, that party wins all the delegates from that state. So there's certain areas that are solidly red, which means 80% and above vote for the Republicans, and places that are solidly blue, which means, again, similarly vote a lot for the Democrats. So there's borderline no reason for you to campaign in those states because, again, they're already solidly against you. So it behooves you to go after the so-called swing states that have, that sometimes go blue, sometimes go red. So, right, usually you'd pick your vice president to be somebody from a swing state because that will give you a more likely chance to win that state. But Vance is from a solidly red state, so he gives no advantage in that area. And during his Senate primary, he was going to lose until Trump endorsed him. So even in his home state, he's not well liked. And last week when I spoke about his personality and what a slimy cornball he is, I've seen him give a speech now where he said something like, hey, I was just trying to drink some Mountain Dew. I hope the woke mob doesn't call it woke. And the audience just blanked him. They just didn't say anything. He just got crickets. So, yeah, great stuff, Vance. But, yeah, that's sad for my dear president, Mr. Trump, that he was shanghaied into selecting this dipshit. It's a damn shame. Yeah. So, let's get into the news for the week. The main story is that Joe Biden has dropped out as the Democratic nominee for president, leaving his running mate and Vice President Kamala Harris as the new nominee, or the presumptive nominee. First of all, this is good in the sense that it was borderline elder abuse that his advisors allowed him to run in the first place. Second of all, this is not good from a leftist perspective because Kamala has precisely the same policies as Joe Biden, most importantly on the issue of Israel. So if she gets into office, she will do nothing to stop the bloodshed that Biden is currently allowing. The other thing that should be disqualifying is that she made her name as a prosecutor who was especially tough on poor people for minor drug offenses. And that is extremely gross to me. If you were really for justice, then you would go after the big corporations for the environmental issues they create, for exploiting workers and other unjust practices that they engage in. Instead, she chose to ruin people's lives for smoking weed, which, I've mentioned many times, I don't smoke weed myself, but it's such a ridiculous thing. It's less harmful than drinking alcohol, and that's seen as like a regular thing that everybody does. So, it's very disheartening that somebody like this is getting, near unlimited power. Yeah. Anyway, in terms of the election, like last week with Trump getting shot, I don't think anything has changed, which, you know, two gigantic news stories, and literally nothing has changed, right? As long as she plays it safe, meaning she picks a white male vice president from a swing state, and two, she campaigns in all the swing states, and three, shows up in person to those swing states, and four, she doesn't say anything disastrous, she will easily win the presidency. So I don't know what something disastrous she can say, like I don't know, maybe she denigrates God or something, or she like says something she says something positive about socialism. She'll, yeah, even that I don't think so, but like something really hectic she would have to do. So yeah, if she does lose, words like racism and sexism will be thrown about, but I honestly think that that's bullshit, right? You can say racism, but Obama was elected president against that, in such a racist country. You can say sexism, but Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, The one and only reason Hillary lost is because she did not campaign hard enough in the swing states, especially Michigan. Imagine, what I just said now about there being swing states, and you should campaign hard in the swing states because, it behooves you to do so. Hillary Clinton did not even visit Michigan. And then when she lost, she's like, oh, it's bloody Russian interference, it's bloody sexism, it's everybody except me. I didn't do anything wrong. It's beyond stupid, but yeah. So now the attention turns to who her vice president will be, and I really don't want to speculate because I believe it's a waste of time. This is a lot like in football, where you get a lot of like rumors that like, ooh, this player is moving to this club, or whatever. But I learned to stop paying attention to the rumors, and only when a transfer has been successfully completed, that's when I start paying attention to that person. I may like watch a tactics breakdown of that player, or that kind of thing. So for now, I'm just gonna wait until a decision is made, and then when that decision is made and a vice president is put forward, then I'll do some research into that person if I don't know them already. And yeah, so let's just put a pin in this, and we'll come back to it. Now, our next story I'm reading from News 24 in a story written by Iavin Perjuice. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. It's a very unique name I've never seen before, right? So, a suspected military training base was uncovered in White River, Mpumalanga on Friday. So, international listeners, Mpumalanga is like a very, it's not populous. It's a lot of like farmland. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Fuck, I don't even know. Shit, never mind. I don't know anything. Just know it's a province in South Africa, right? Anyway, police spokesperson Colonel Donald Mdluli said 95 Libyan nationals have been arrested at the site. Mdluli said police activated the Provincial Joint Operational and Intelligence Structure, aka ProvJoints, 2 days ago after receiving intelligence on the suspected camp. On Friday, a raid was carried out in collaboration with the ProvJoints, which includes crime intelligence and officials from the Department of Home Affairs. Quote, "The place, which I was initially designated as a training site, appears to have been converted into an illegal military training base," Mdluli said. National Police spokesperson Brigadier Athlenda Mate said that when detectives arrived at the property, they found, quote, "the Libyans housed in military tents," end quote. Military training equipment was also found, including licensed firearms. SAPS detectives cannot rule out the possibility that the farm that is accredited as a security training site is allegedly being utilized as an illegal military training camp. Mate said that the police were working with the DHA to determine how the accused obtained their visas. Acting Mpumalanga Police Commissioner Major General Zeph Mkhwanazi said the police took any threat to provincial and national security and stability, quote, very seriously, end quote. This operation demonstrates our commitment to acting swiftly and decisively against any activities that could undermine our national interests and ensure the safety of our citizens, because that is the primary mandate, Mkhwanazi said. While the investigation remains active, police have reassured the public that there is no immediate threat to community safety. National Police Commissioner General Fanny Masemola said a team of detectives was investigating the alleged suspicious activity at the farm. Quote, during the takedown operation, police also found dacha and cocaine. Listeners, dacha is a word for weed or marijuana, right? So they found marijuana and cocaine. Some of the other drugs found in their possession are being sent to the SAPS Forensic Science Laboratory in Pretoria to identify them as illegal substances, said Masemola. The safety and security of our citizens is of paramount importance, and the SAPS remains committed to dealing decisively with transnational organized crime. Anyone who has information about similar whatever. So this is a very bizarre story, and news is still coming out about it, so I don't really have anything to comment on it aside to say that that's kind of fucking wild, right? I really want more information to come out so we can figure out what was this for. Is this like ISIS? Is this some like other terrorist organization? What's going on here, right? That's one thing. The other thing I want to say is that there's a large xenophobic feeling within South Africa, and I think this is something that will possibly use to attack innocent foreign nationals, and that's a bad thing. It's true that what these people were doing is bad, but it's also true that innocent people shouldn't be attacked, so hopefully this isn't used as a accelerant for violence. That's all I'm hoping for in this case. Alright. So this week at San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel announced that Robert Downey Jr. will be returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Doctor Doom. And I think that this is one of the most creatively bankrupt decisions I've ever seen. I'm currently writing my Deadpool review and voicing my displeasure at Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine because it undermines the sacrifice he made in Logan. Similarly, Downey's return really undermines the ending of Avengers Endgame, which is an even bigger spectacle than Logan was, because Endgame was the culmination of many, many movies, while Logan was just a, more or less standalone movie. So yeah. This is clearly a panic move, as the Marvel movies aren't making as much money as they used to, so they're going back to what made them successful in the first place. So, along with announcing Downey as Doctor Doom, they announced that the Russo brothers, the directors of Civil War, the two latest Avengers movies, will be coming back for Avengers 5, or Avengers Doomsday, which it's being called. So basically, both in front and behind the camera, they're bringing back old talent, and I just don't think that's the way to go. I think that they should be going after fresh talent, and I think that there are plenty of excellent actors and directors who are capable of giving us a really good... Well, actually, I'm not sure where this Doctor Doom is going to show up. I guess the Avengers movie, but they're also talking about a Fantastic Four movie, so I don't know which one he will show up in. Yeah. But this really cheapens Iron Man's sacrifice, right? That all being said, I will be keeping an open mind. Maybe this will be amazing. I have no idea. But just on its face, I'm against it. Lastly, in our news for this week, This was the start of the Olympics. I personally have no interest in any of the sports. Well, I guess they play football at the Olympics, but I'm not even watching that. But I do want to wish Team South Africa well in the various sports and events that they are going to do. And also to give a special shout out to one of our runners, Akane Sambini, who went to the same high school as me. He was in the first team for rugby when I was in under 14. So under 14 is grade 8 and first team is grade 11 and 12. Basically, you have something called skivvies. So the first team, they have a grade 8 or an under 14 player who will like carry their bags for them, or like, basically like a personal assistant or some kind, and he was not my I wasn't his skivvy because he played wing and I played as a prop, but I did know of him. So that's cool that he's at the Olympics. That's very, very cool. My auntie also used to teach at the high school that I went to, and she taught him, and she says that he was a very nice guy. He's very humble. So, all the best to him and the rest of Team South Africa. So yeah. Otherwise, I don't know too much about the Olympics, so I can't really speak to it. I can't be like, oh, this guy's gonna win a gold, because I neither know or care about any of the sports happening there. So thank you for listening. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, give a like, etc. Importantly, it needs to be a 5-star review. I've said it many times before, but I'll cut your tires. You'll be driving along and you'll be like, well, there's something wrong with the car. What's going on here? And then you go out and you're like, oh fuck, my tires are cut. Well, not cut, slashed. My tires have been slashed. Who would do this? Who? And then you think back. You think back to when you gave me a 4.5-star review. When I asked for 5, I said 5 very specifically. So, yes, think about that. Anyway, you can find all our links at PAICIP.com. That's PAICIP.com. Please tell a friend, tell that friend to tell a friend, tell a family member. Yeah. Goodbye.